Good morning and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. And when you listen, stream, or download straight to your device, CastBox is your best option. CastBox is a free platform on your computer or mobile device that promotes podcasts just like ours to millions of listeners worldwide. Go to the App Store or Google Play and look for the orange symbol. If you're listening on your computer, go to castbox.fm and look for our show. Remember, if you like what you hear, don't forget to subscribe and comment. In this episode, we talk about Rick and Morty, fan theories, and favorite episodes. So let's get started with Steve, Tino, Gia, and John with the news. Enjoy the show.
I want to line the pieces up. Yours and mine.
Alright, if you can hear my voice, that means you've hit the download or stream button, so for that, we thank you. But have you signed up for our newsletter? If you said no, I need you to head to bodysnatchers.com, throw in your email, and we'll do the rest. And keep checking, because in a matter of days, hours, moments, we'll be pushing out some editorials from some of the smartest people from all over the world. So be sure to check that out and drop some First Amendments and knowledge, whatever you got. Be sure to comment. Alright guys, how you doing?
If they really need a reason to subscribe, just, remind everybody that we're doing that giveaway for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live. So
full year, free.
Mm-hmm. And you don't even have to be a new subscriber. You just have to subscribe and stay on the list, and every month you have the opportunity to win whatever we give it away.
And I would be even better if Steven didn't ask a question and immediately answer it without at least putting a pause in it.
You wouldn't have answered it correctly anyways.
Yeah, but he has erratic breathing.
Flash sweepstakes. Whoever puts their email in the next 5 minutes gets $5. And the show isn't live, by the way. So.
You're so stupid.
Jesus Christ.
You build them up and then you knock them down.
I can't wait to beat Gia's ass. Can I say
You're
that?
not going to.
This mic is hot. I'm just gonna grab you too. You're gonna be shaking everyone else's hand, and I think I'm just gonna blindside you with the elbow in the back of the head.
I'll just make sure I kick you in the dick the second you do it.
If you can find his dick.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to find it. You're right.
Look, I always got a half chub, so it won't be that hard to find.
Okay.
Alrighty, so
if that was true, he
starting
would
with the news
with
with John.
I would like to talk about my dick a little bit more, but we can go to the news.
Nobody wants to talk about your dick.
I'm gonna make a fake Facebook post right now about it.
Nobody cares about your Vienna sausage.
It's a different podcast.
I was going to say, Simo's going to be the only one that comments on that anyway, so good
Some
luck.
guy's trying to
May the odds
listen to
be
this
ever in your
podcast
favor.
with his kids.
Rumor has it I'm 6.5 hard, so that's not that bad.
Alrighty, so John, the news.
All right. So for the news today, I'm gonna start off with something that kind of sucks, but I don't know if you guys have heard or not. Deadpool has already started filming. But a couple days ago, Deadpool, one of the stunt women in the movie, died during a motorcycle crash.
She gone
on set, and it kind of sucks because it was like her first movie as a stunt woman.
That's what happens when you lie in your application.
Shut up, dude. Her name was S.J. Harris. She was 40-year-old.
Okay. That's why you feel a certain type of way. Her last name was what?
Shut up, Tina. It has nothing to do with it.
God.
I got a funeral Friday.
Y'all
shit.
are so fucked up. Like, there's people mourning for this woman, and y'all are just making jokes.
Okay, all right, okay, and that's fair, and that's fine. But, like, a tragedy is like when your career is, I drive a school bus and fucking the school bus broke down on the train tracks and a train hit it and everybody died. That's a tragedy.
Jesus.
Or the wheels popped off. Yeah, I guess that's probably the strongest thing to go to. But, like, I don't feel bad when you got a woman who's like, yeah, I got a job where, like, for people's entertainment, I risk my life on camera. Like, okay, like, it comes with the territory. I mean, like, that sucks, but, like, I don't feel bad. Nobody told you to do that shit. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry that my opinion doesn't agree with you, John.
You're as cold as ice.
Wow. Okay. Carry on. I'm sorry. I'm so insensitive. I'm a realist.
We need that song playing, the Cold as Ice song.
That would be perfect.
That would be a thing.
But yeah, she was a 40-year-old from New York.
40?
She actually, she was 40. She started riding in 2009, so she got in kind of late in the game. But by 2013, she was racing at pro levels. She was actually participating in one of the championships.
She must not have won a lot.
Championship series.
At 40, though. Really?
Yeah, dude.
I'm the only one who doesn't see a problem with that.
How is that a
I mean,
problem?
a lot of stunt people are older. Also, like not all of them are in their 20s.
I'm with
I feel
Tino,
like she
man.
should have been concentrating on having a family or something.
Yeah, her
unless this
grandkids
was
should have
like her
been like,
midlife
yo,
crisis.
this isn't a good idea.
Because not everybody likes to live by the stupid status.
Some people
quo.
like to die on a motorcycle while filming for something that nobody's ever going to see.
I mean, she did what she enjoyed, so I don't see anything wrong in that.
All right, you're right. I apologize. I'm going to drink this beer for her, whatever her name is, Mrs. Harris.
You can pour some out. Pour some out for the
Tino's
homie.
gonna like die on an install, and everybody's gonna talk shit, and everybody like, well, he should have known. He could have got electrocuted.
He shouldn't have been doing network technician. IT is not that cool.
Cross the wire somewhere and got.
He drools when he's working, so he probably spit all over the wires. He's a
Ew.
fucking
You
idiot.
do? Tino,
I mean,
Fucking
I
slob.
might just like Rick from Rick and Morty. That's my genius coming out.
Depends on who his clientele is.
My name's not Tino. What?
he drinks while he's doing installs, so he drools.
My name is John.
I'm sorry, John. Carry on. Get your story across.
But yeah, anyway, so yeah, she ended up dying on set. Apparently she was doing one of the stunts where I think it was an intentional crash, but it ended up going a lot worse than what she expected. So she ended up flying through, I think, one of the buildings, like large window panes, on set.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's so savage. That sucks.
Terrible.
It is.
Prayers to her
She
family.
intentionally crashed a motorcycle and died.
Yeah. So it just sucks because it's like it's her first movie and she's obviously been an avid rider for that many years.
You know what? I had a bad day today, and that makes the L that I took not feel as bad.
Does she still get paid?
I would assume her family gets the money.
She didn't really finish the job though, so.
How the fuck is she gonna
Shut
get
the
the?
fuck
Oh
up,
yeah,
Steven.
you are right.
We're talking about her family. You know what I'm talking about, Tino.
Yeah, dude. But like, if a pipe fitter, dies in a freak accident while putting away the pipes, I mean, you're probably not gonna get paid.
That's true.
Yeah, but
God.
a pipe fitter probably
have
wasn't.
like death benefits that people are given if they die on the job.
I know that, Virgie. I'm not stupid, but was she in a union?
Not
What?
everybody in a unit has
These are the
death.
real. These are the questions we gotta ask.
Not really.
Well, but the thing is, they're probably going to get paid for the work that she did complete and the hours that she did work. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to do some kind of death gratuity for her passing away doing a stunt.
What
Like,
if it's-
I'm pretty sure there's like things that get signed that, help out with that.
It does depend what your contract is on, though. I mean, like, it may not be hourly. It may be salary. It may be per stunt. We don't know.
Yeah, she might just get a check for $32 or 32
She might have been in her
hours.
90 days, and maybe it was just a trial. She might only be entitled to. Stop. Just carry on. I can't.
Wow.
I don't know. Just in my experience with like paperwork and casting calls and everything, usually your extras and your stunt people get paid like a fixed amount for one day of work, and then if you only work a couple of those hours, they split it up into hourly pay.
But also the thing is, this was the second movie in a franchise that made millions of dollars, so they probably were just kind of throwing money around, so they probably had a decent contract, not bonus, but they probably already had a predetermined amount that they were going to pay her for the work that she was doing.
So we
So they-
assume these are not facts.
Yeah, but
I mean, anybody that's listening, Steven, would probably use common sense to know those weren't facts, but
That's just too dangerous for me. That's why I live out all my dreams on webcam from the privacy of my own home to make money.
like that webcam girl that messaged you.
That hit me up on PlayStation. I don't know how the fuck she got my information, but that was entertaining.
no words.
Well, it's funny because I went off on him and, was calling him an idiot and all this other stuff. Because I hit you with all that, like, basic, shit where they're like, ha ha, hee hee, and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is making me feel really uncomfortable. No human being would ever say that. And then I came at them and made fun of them and was just like, look, man, you're not about to come for me. I'm not the guy. I'm not going for that shit, okay? So stay out of my life. I'm in a relationship. I don't want to see your naked body on camera. And then they said it doesn't cost any money. I was like, oh, yeah? Okay, that's lit. So, how do we get this going? But they never responded. I think I took it too far. Oh, what is that, your pager going off?
Sounds like Steven's pager.
Fuck no, it's not mine. I'm a professional. You're not going to hear nothing on this side but burps.
John's
The fact that
vibrator.
you have a pager in the first place.
You mean saving money? It's not my fault the world doesn't have payphones. The world's not made for me.
They still got 1-800-COLLECT.
Does it work?
I don't know. I don't carry change. I haven't seen a payphone in a long time.
I
think
you
it's
gotta
only-
go to like the bum shanties for shit like that.
They have them in O'Hare.
I imagine they're only used for Superman and homeless people to do drugs and bang.
No, they literally have some at O'Hare Airport.
I haven't been to O'Hare in years.
I would only use it to sell drugs.
I can't see them getting much use. I think the last one that I've seen was when I was in SoCal, and that was a long time ago.
I like how you said SoCal, so hip. What else you got for news, John?
Oh, shit. Almost forgot I was doing news. That went off of that fucking terrible ass tangent. Anyway, next up for news is another Pokemon Go story. In Japan they were having a Pikachu outbreak event.
Yeah.
In Yokohama, I believe is how you pronounce that. And they released Mewtwo as a raid boss. And this is all confirmed. It was actually pictures were taken by a YouTuber / Twitter guy called Mystic7.
It's a weird way to spell body snatchers. This is the first time I've heard about it.
Cheap plug.
I'm lying. I know all about it, but please carry on.
But yeah, he was ended up being one of the raid bosses. The guy had taken a photo of his screen on his phone, and Mewtwo had like a CP of 49,430.
Which is only slightly higher than what the other ones were. I know, because I caught all the legendaries.
I figured it would have been a lot more for that, but I guess it depends on. Actually, I don't really know what it depends on, but I figured something like Mewtwo
See,
would
killed
be
you.
a
If you
little
got
bit
5
more of that.
dudes that are around like between like 30 and 35, like you should be able to take that down. It'll be tough, but you can take it down with like 5, maybe 6 people. But for the norm, you'd probably need the full 20 for the raid if you guys are all like level whatever, trash, 25, same thing, right?
Yeah, I was about to ask, is there a limit to how many people can perform a raid at once?
It's 20.
'Cause- Oh, yeah, then I guess that's not too bad to
I guess.
get
I
through.
mean, I don't know. What pissed me off about the legendaries, and I didn't want to talk about it, but you had to bring it up. You had to fucking bring it up, even though we just talked about Pokemon. All right, look.
Shut up,
So
it's your job.
they brought legendaries back. And I'm sorry, for the first time, like, okay, everybody, we have legendaries. This week we're gonna do Lugia and Articuno. Next week it's gonna be Lugia and Moltres, and the week after that it's gonna be Lugia and Zapdos. And each week that we do it, if you don't get them, that's it. Maybe next year or a special event. So immediately after the 3 weeks go by, they're like, haha, surprise, until the end of the month all the legendaries are going to be out. And I'm like, well, that's really disheartening, because a lot of people that I know went out of their way, or took some kind of pride in being able to get that one particular Pokemon that others couldn't get in that week's time. So that somebody may have gotten an Articuno but not the Moltres, or whatever. And that made it kind of fun. So for you to just give everybody this extra time last minute, it's like, well, fuck it, why even take them away? Why? And then for Mewtwo, if you didn't know, or maybe you were going to get to that point of explaining it, there, as far as we know so far, you have to get into a random raid, and then if you beat said raid, then you'll have the invite to go to the Mewtwo raid, if that makes sense. So you got a whole bunch of hoops that you have to jump through just in order to have a chance to catch Mewtwo. If you were wondering if they were doing some extra shit, because they always do.
Which that makes sense, since it was at a different event, or since it was at an event for a different Pokemon. So
I'm just gonna wait for Mew. I don't even give a fuck anymore.
But you still gonna play.
Well, I'm going to play because people like John aren't going to have it. And even though he says he doesn't care, I can see the twinkly tear in his eye whenever I show him things that he doesn't have, like Lugia.
Meh. It's whatever.
Good luck raising those motherfuckers.
Well, I have a bunch of... When you do raids, you get rare candies, and the rare candies you can turn into
A candy of any
Lugia
type.
candies, for instance.
Yeah.
Right. You know, so if you actually played the game, you would know. But, I mean, if you're sitting at home with hacks, then you probably would have missed that part, huh?
I have a ton of rare candies from hacks.
You don't know what you have.
Terrible person.
I don't even think you knew that rare candies were a
He has
thing.
rare candies, but he didn't know what the fuck to do with them.
Fuck yeah.
Simple as.
I got a Blastoise that would wreck you, Gia. What do you got?
I doubt it.
I forgot you live in the deserts of Korea.
There's not even any deserts here, you idiot.
Oh my god.
I almost didn't catch that, and I'm happy.
There's fucking like jungles and mountains. There's not a fucking desert here. You're stupid.
Steven, I'm...
Who are you
I
talking
couldn't
about?
even
There's supposed to be
respond.
deserts and mountains
For
and
Christmas.
temples like in Mortal Kombat.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, last piece of news.
Mortal
Oh my
Kombat
God.
Annihilation, by the way.
Did you say that because Shang Tsung is Asian?
Yes, I did.
And so are Koreans? Is that what you just
He's
used
Korean.
to connect that?
I'm so sorry.
She's in
John.
Korea, not Outworld, you piece of shit.
He went from Korea to Outworld.
I'm pretty sure Sang Sung is like a Chinese name, not a Korean name, but okay.
Plus their heads are bigger.
Alrighty, so
Got
John,
him.
can we let John
What?
finish his news?
It's a fact. Some people like big heads. I do.
Like a hang time
All right.
cheat code.
The bigger the head, the bigger the brain.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Brain, what does he talk about? Is he talking
you're,
about smarts or is he talking about...
Like Jimmy Neutron.
that's not how that works.
He's smart as fuck.
And his head is
That's-
huge. Coincidence?
that's
I think
not-
not.
His mom has to do his hair because his arms aren't long enough to get all the way up there.
Oh, those T-Rex arms?
Yeah.
That's racist.
Wouldn't it be Jesus?
No, because we're making fun of a little white boy. I'm white. I can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, but you said T-Rex and then said racist.
Yeah, but we're trying to make fun of white people in a way that we're not really making fun of white people because of the events that are going on in the world right now, Virgie. And if you can't get that joke, then maybe you just don't get this podcast.
I didn't understand.
Okay.
Shocking.
It was-
Maybe it's my tiny
It's
woman
because Gia
head.
doesn't have a big head. Yeah.
Your girl. It's your girl. Go ahead, John. I apologize.
Little woman head. All right. Moving on.
Anyway, last bit of news. Something else you can do with your cell phone and kind of have that retro feel good. There is a company called Hyperkin who is making, basically they're making these little Game Boy cradles for your smartphone. So all that's, it's basically, it's not gonna like store any games on it itself, but it will allow you to play the old school like Game Boy cartridges. So anybody who was waiting for the end of the world and storing them in their basement can actually now play them on their smartphone. You can actually pre-order them now on Amazon for $50.
Yep, $49.99.
Yeah, which it's like if I was gonna go out of my way to try to find like the Game Boy cartridges to play this thing, that doesn't seem like a bad price. But if you're somebody who's just gonna be kind of a casual player about it, I don't see too many people buying it. You're really just gonna get the hardcore people who are gonna troll the internet and try to find like, you know, the old school cartridges.
It'll make money. People
Either
are
those people
trendy.
are the people that still have them in storage. So, like, I have a lot of them, and I pre-ordered it. Like, the second it went on sale, I pre-ordered it. But that's just
Yeah.
because I have a bunch of old cartridges. So,
Yeah, which is, I understand that. It's like, yeah, if you're like you who still had a bunch of those cartridges, like I had cartridges at some point, but I ended up getting rid of them for whatever reason.
So this won't work for emulators?
It's not an emulator.
But like
no.
if you got it on your phone, you can use the case as a controller.
Steven, I want you to explain to me how that's
It's
supposed
not-
to work.
Because if you put it in, it can respond as a controller. I can use my fucking
No,
PS4
that's-
controller on my phone right now.
No, that's not how it's gonna work.
Yeah, but that's not what it was designed for.
No, we get what you're saying, but that's not what it's designed for.
Tino didn't get it.
I get you. I just want to know why you're so fucking stupid all the
You're
time.
stupid.
I'm
You
s-
didn't get it.
You know what? I'm only 2 beers in. I apologize. I haven't drank
But-
enough to like you yet.
But anyway, more to that. This is only going to be for Android phones, so
So that doesn't apply to anybody but fucking ain't shit Virgie with the Android phone.
but I mean Android phones are cheap anyway, so you can always go just get one
Hey,
specifically
they
for
got
this
some
use.
good products though. I may rock iPhone these days. I'm not gonna knock on Android.
No,
as a
they
whole.
do. They do have good products, but I'm saying they're more readily available for cheaper. So you can just go get a cheaper Android phone.
Yeah, but you don't want to
just
do
for the
that.
Purpose
You
of
don't
this.
want to steer people the wrong way.
Well, I'm not going to tell somebody to go spend freaking $500 on a brand new Android just to.
Well, 800 if you want it to work right, but that's just me. I'm not taking shots at them. I'm just saying, like those where the high end phones are at. Anything that's not that is like some cheap knockoff from like the flea market that happens to say Android.
Yeah, but you don't need an $800 Android phone to play something that where graphics were, I don't even know what the system requirements were back then to run these cartridges, but
It's like
you don't need
Nissan,
an
dude. Just because you have a Nissan doesn't make it cool. You can have a Nissan GTR, you can have a Nissan 370Z, or you can have a fucking Nissan Sentra that's like super super old and barely holding together. That's how you got to look at it.
I didn't understand that analogy at all.
You're a car guy. I thought you would, but obviously you don't respect me enough to pay attention to the things that I say metaphorically.
Snap.
I couldn't get
Snap.
it. I'm sorry. I tried. But anyway, the company Hyperkin, they've actually, if you go to their website, they have a lot of cool shit on there. Both for like retro gaming and even newer systems and stuff like that. They have like this portable, it looks exactly like the older Game Boy, like the really fat Game Boy. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but basically it just looks like it has an upgraded LCD screen on it, so you can get some portable gaming in there. I'm trying to remember the name of that damn thing, but I would say if anybody's interested in just possibly getting parts and stuff for old gaming systems, even like old power cables for Xbox, for like the original Xboxes and shit like that, look up this Hyperkin website. And I'm pretty sure they'll have something on there that you can put to use.
You know what I've seen more and more, John, lately on
What?
Facebook and Amazon. Back in the day, I'd say like 2010, 2011, you would get a PSP, and there was homebrewed. I think Tino knows about this, don't you?
Hell yeah.
Well, you would have to open the battery, and you would have to take a soldering pen, and you would have to cut this line, and then you would have to upload all these programs. I think it was like 4 or 5. And then after that, you can use it as a PS1 emulator, and then everything below that. And now I'm seeing on Facebook and Amazon that people are taking these old PSPs. They're the fat ones before the slim and silver, and they're selling them fully loaded with Nintendo 64 games, PlayStation 1 games. They're all fully loaded, and they're only charging $50.
That's pretty legit.
And I messaged them on Amazon asking them all these questions, and it seems legit. It seems like I'm a big Mega Man Legends fan, so I like to replay them. I'd like people I know to replay them, and they're both on there. He said fully loaded, ready to go. Even that embarrassing Tron Bond side game.
I think you're overpaying. You could do the shit yourself and just buy a cheap Android phone, like John says, and get a good emulator on there, and it will cost you nothing. Except for the $20 you spent at Walmart for an Android phone.
Yeah, but I like the feel. I like the feel of the PSP.
There's a supply and demand, right? So you get people who rather just pay for the convenience of having it done for them.
I guess probably because I lived through that. I mean, because that shit came out over 12 years ago, give or take. So, I mean, and without having to cut the battery or anything. And I mean, I'm techie. Within reason, so some people aren't, I guess, but I went through that. I had homebrew on multiple PSPs, and had the whole emulator thing. Fuck, I've had an emulator on almost every fucking electronic system I've owned somehow, some way. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't excite me in the same way. But I mean, I guess I can see it's a stretch, but.
Well, I mean, when you're somebody like you who has the mental capacity and the tools to do something like that, and at home easily. I would say it probably isn't going to impress you that much anyway.
Well, what does that mean?
That felt like a really shady compliment, but thank you.
Yeah. What does that mean, John? If you wanted to do it, you would go to YouTube and you can find 20 videos on anything you want to do, and they got a step-by-step and a list of what you need and a list of a website you need and programs you need, and you do it step-by-step. And if you just follow the steps, you can pretty much do anything. You can make a bomb, John.
Yeah, we're not having that.
Do something spectacular with your anger.
No, we're not
but
popular.
You can
enough
also
to-
accidentally brick your PSP or PS Vita and be out of the $300 you initially spent on the system.
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, you have the access
Oh, you
and
mean you can
information
fuck
to
it
go
up?
do it yourself. Right, but, some people, they're like, I really don't want to fuck it up. I'd rather just pay the extra money to have somebody who knows what they're doing to do it for me. Like I said, not everybody, even though they have the tools and the information to do it themselves, are not confident enough and would rather just pay somebody else to do it. And then that way, if they buy something that's fucked up, they have somebody to hold responsible. Exactly.
We call those people sheep.
Before we move on, what are you using for your emulator, Tino? Because I'm using RetroArch, and it's about, I'd say that the shit that I use is about 4 years old now, and I got PS2 emulators, but they still lag like crazy. Is there something new now?
I haven't used any PlayStation emulators in a while, just because I've never had one that was just really stable. Those just aggravate me. All the ones that I use, I pretty much use for all Nintendo 64 games, Nintendo games. Those always run really, really well. Game Boy Advance games, but anything PlayStation just is meh.
Even the PS1?
I mean, I've had a couple good ones on the PC, but I'm being completely honest with you. I haven't used them in years because most of those games I use on my PlayStation 4 now, without obviously the need for an emulator, and I beat them all. So I haven't gone back in years, so I'm not sure what's current. But I mean, if you really want me to look, I mean, I know where to look. I can find you some new.
No, I gotta look into it later. I'm playing Jade's Cocoon on PS1 now, and it's moving really good. But I got Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel of Roses on PS2, and there's a second lag, and it skips, and the frame rate's so low.
You still haven't fucking played me in Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist for PlayStation 4, so don't fucking talk to me about it.
I didn't know you played it anymore.
I would play it just to beat you senseless because you suck at everything you do.
I'll get it if Gia gets it.
Gia, I think, has it.
Have you beat her? She good?
I don't. I think we only played. If she played, we only played a few times. I can't remember, but I feel like
I think I played when the group did it a lot when it first came out. But you know how I am with games and them. I hate purchasing things because then they'll just stop playing a week later.
Oh, you mean you're referencing our group of coon friends where all they do is buy games, play them for 5 to 7 days, convince you to buy them, and you're like, okay, all right, guys, are you ready? And they're like, nah.
Yeah, because every time I'll be like, are you sure it's good? Are you sure you'll still be playing it? Hell yeah, we'll be playing it. So it became an inner circle joke that I'd just be like, y'all sure you still going to be playing it? And then, of course, one of the guys would just be like, oh, we back on this again? But then he'd be one of the first ones to quit.
Well, for the record, I'm the only person who always goes to you first and waits for you. I'm still waiting on you to come back for Final Fantasy Stormblood, so hopefully when you get done with that whole thing. I haven't even finished it
I didn't
yet.
get that one specifically because of my internet. I don't have the internet capabilities to be able to play.
Well, I'm just
That's
leveling my
simply what it
characters
is.
and being super gay and not finishing Stormblood so that I can play it with you. But if you fuck me on this, Gia, I will never forgive you.
Next month, man, I'll be home.
Okay, don't you fuck me.
And Gia, we also got we got 15 people deep for Destiny. I don't want to add you to the chat because I know you're a part of fucking 20. So.
And I'm only a part of 3 group chats, so you can add me to it.
What a fucking loser. Yeah, I'll add you after this.
All right.
All right. Is that it, John?
Yeah, it took us 30 minutes to get through that.
Not
but
bad.
yeah.
Not bad. That means it was a good sesh. Oh, all right. There's the news. Speaking of news, shared pics and cheap shots of John on Xbox. Join the conversation. How? Where? Why? Facebook.com/BodysnatchersPodcast. Twitter.com/BodysnatchersPC. That's brand new, Body Snatchers PC for Twitter. And Instagram, just Body Snatchers Podcast. And again, all that and then some on the BodysnatchersPodcast.com. So, moving on to Rick and Morty on Cartoon Network Adult Swim. All new episodes late night on Sunday, so wherever you're at, just be home by 9 and it'll be on. So, when we decided to do this show, I wanted to make it my mission to convince the listener that would be you, and to give our honest opinion about it. And I want to convince you to try it out, because if you're listening to us, there's something about you that is going to love this show. It's smart, it's funny, there's nostalgia hooked in there, especially for the Back to the Future fans. I never seen the movie, but apparently
I
there's a
you
lot
just
of...
assumed our fan base.
I didn't assume their gender, and that's the big deal now. So
I said fan base. Nobody cares about gender. That's
So
gonna
you
piss,
just-
that's gonna piss somebody off.
well,
you just
wonder
assumed they
why
were fans?
You wonder why dudes are inboxing you, because you don't care about gender and anything. So prove it, you pansexual.
Oh, after that PlayStation bot thing that happened to me, like I don't even have a comeback for that.
It's flattering. Dudes want to rail you. So
I'm
what?
getting off the internet.
Getting off the internet or getting off on the internet? There's a difference. My
Jesus
counselor
Christ.
told me so.
Okay, so I started watching Rick and Morty last year. I was late on the bandwagon, and
Same.
it kind of doesn't even make sense why. I guess probably because like it was one of those things where I missed it, so I wasn't going to jump on. But I got bored one day, so I finally caved. Just looking at it from the outside in, I always thought it was just going to be like some shitty knockoff of like a Seth MacFarlane type of show or something.
Mm-hmm.
That had like that was just making fun of like Marty McFly and
Shit like Brickleberry.
and the doc from Back to the Future, which I liked, but for whatever reason I was like, nah, they're trying too hard. I don't even want to give it a chance, and I didn't. But I will say that like after I finally broke down and watched the first episode and warmed up to it, like I watched the first 2 seasons in a matter of a couple of hours. Like I couldn't stop. Like I was just like, this is amazing. So that's just my take on it. I mean, is anybody else? Was there anybody else late to the party? Am I the only one?
What does that mean?
No,
to people?
I was as well, and I forgot what made me decide to actually start watching. I think because you know how they've been releasing episodes randomly on Facebook. It may have been one of those, like a randomly released episode, or it could have just been like one of the shorts that I had caught. And I was like, okay, this is really interesting, and it's hilarious. So then I started watching the full episodes, and I was like, okay, now I'm hooked, and I get what the hype is about with this damn show.
Yeah, so I didn't start as late as you guys. I started in 2014. It was like,
Has it really been out for that long?
Yeah, it came out in like 2013.
Holy shit.
I started like halfway through the first season, I want to say.
We waited a long time for this.
Yeah,
third
well,
season.
to be fair, thank goodness you guys did, because last year was like the driest season ever, because like we were all just waiting for this new season of Rick and Morty, and it took them a very long time to put it out and finally get it approved and everything.
I think it was well worth the wait, though, if you compare what we've gotten so far from season 3 to season 1 and 2. I know that they were saying that the writers, they replaced a lot of them for whatever reason, and ironically, a lot of them are women, which is cool. But they're writing things that are a lot fiercer than, like, when they had a mostly male group of writers, right? And I like it, like, way, way better. I was actually really surprised to learn that, not to say that, a woman can't write or anything. It's just, like, they're not usually known for writing things that are so obscene. And if you guys seen the Pickle Rick episode, Jesus Christ, it was just very aggressive.
Fucking awesome.
And
That was good.
amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck thought of that, or how, or what kind of drugs they were on when they were writing it, but man, like that shit is just it's well thought out. It references a ton of old shit. You laugh the whole way through, and you're just like, Jesus, like why is this so hardcore? Like without getting into exactly what happens. You guys saw the scene with the rats and all the gore that accompanied that in order for him to attain a body for that pickle that he was in.
Well, I remember watching like I guess like those were the rough sketches for it before they added color and everything. I remember seeing that video coming across Facebook. I didn't know it was actually going into like an actual episode, but I always thought that was cool.
Hold on.
In itself.
Saying that out loud, Rick was in a pickle. That was funny to me. I hope that somebody would get that joke.
That's a pretty good pun.
That was not intentional.
That was a pretty
You
good pun.
get it? Because he was a pickle, and he was in a pickle of a situation. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Not bad.
That was a stretch.
4 out of 5. Feel good about
Brownie points awarded to Tino.
that. Yeah.
And totally random since we're just talking about the show in different places and things that we like about it. What's the end of season 2? His best friend that dies, Bird Person. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or I don't think he dies. Something happens to Bird Person though, where he gets like locked up or injured or something. And at the end, or the end of season 3, episode 1, so that just came out. Did any of you guys watch what happened with that after the credits?
Yeah, they did a Darth Vader thing or something, right?
Yeah,
Is that what
kind
you're
of.
talking about? Yeah.
So
I hope they
only
do
you and me
something
saw
with
it.
that.
I don't hear
Well,
Virgie
this-
and John saying anything.
I'm just listening to you two because Steven just keeps talking because he likes to hear his voice.
I'm solving problems. Let the man solve problems, Gia. I'll take care of you.
I'll just
God.
sit here and listen to you not solve problems.
Well, Darth Vader was probably a good reference, but it looks like they brought him back, and I
She has such
think
a
they
fun
said the name like Phoenix Person, which I thought was kind of clever. But
Yeah, because
Right.
he'd been reborn.
yeah, but apparently is like maybe evil now, or at least that's the vibe that we get, like Darth Vader. So I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see what they end up doing with that, though, because I mean it's been so fucking good so
Me
far.
too. Season 3 seems incredibly smart now. I mean, this last episode where Rick gets drunk and he puts everyone through like a Saw situation, and he did it like in the middle of the night when he was blackout drunk, and they get to like the third one, and he's trying to sleep in the camera. He's like, I'm just gonna rest my eyes, just shoot some 3-pointers, and the lights go on and it's a basketball court with a bomb to the side.
Yeah.
And then of course Morty's just like, oh, time to go, disarm this bomb again. He's like, how many times? He's like, too many times, Rick. Too many times.
Yeah. That whole episode was pretty. It's definitely gotten a lot darker, and it's and just
Well-
like the feels of the episodes is pretty hilarious.
I was watching the pilot episode, not too long ago because I knew that we were going to end up talking about this, and I've seen both seasons several times. But I mean, like I was just trying to, watch and see if maybe there's something that I could piece together to make interesting for the show. And was also reading some fan theories, and one fan theory that somebody else, to be fair, had thought of it, but I mean, I had thought of it on my own first, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not the only one. I don't know if you guys remember episode 1 or from season 1 or how long it's been since you've watched it, but pilot episode, Rick and Morty go to one of those alternate universes through the portal gun on a world full of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And Rick is telling Morty, I need your help. I got to collect these seeds, Morty.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're like pointy seeds or whatever. And Rick what happens? Morty injures himself like really bad because Rick gives him these damn walking shoes and is like, okay, you can walk up mountains and everything, Morty. And Morty like falls down and breaks his legs, and he's like, you gotta turn him on, Morty. You gotta flip the button, Morty. And he's like screaming and crying. He's like, I hate you, Rick. And so Rick goes to some other universe where they have advanced medicine that's like so advanced that people don't age anymore. And since Rick is old, he sleeps with all the girls there and has sex with them using the portal gun. And then he has just enough power to get back to see Morty, who's still injured, and he's like, hey Morty, I had sex with all these girls and I was using my portal gun and I don't have any more power, so now we're gonna have to get back home the old-fashioned way.
Through
so
customs.
he heals Morty and they go through customs, and he's got these big giant seeds that are like the size of like I don't know, like a large piece of fruit, like a
They're just
fucking
really
big ass
fucking big.
They're like
man.
like a grapefruit or something, or a small football or something like that. And they're pointy, so I guess kind of in the shape of a football. And he's like, all right, Morty, I need you to take these seeds and I need you to stick them up your ass, Morty. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I need you to stick them up your ass so we can get through, the, what do you call it, the terminal and everything, and just not.
Grandpa can't do it. I've done it too many times.
Right.
They'll fall right out.
So I mean, whatever. What happens in that episode, at that particular time is not important. Long story short, they do end up getting back with them, and while all this is going on, Morty's parents are having issues at the school because Morty's going on adventures with Rick so much. They're like, Morty's not here. His grades are slipping. So Morty and Rick get back, and his parents are like, we need to have a word with you. And Morty's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually, you know, really smart because I've been hanging around Rick, who's a genius, and he hits him with like some logic. And the parents are like, oh my God, that's amazing. And they leave. And Morty looks at Rick and he goes, man, like, I really am getting smart, Rick. And he's like, actually, it's a side effect to those special seeds that I needed. Why they were inside of you, what happened is they temporarily made you very smart. And now that you have removed them, they are... you know, gonna have issues with your brain for the next couple of hours. And then next thing you know, he starts drooling, which is pretty funny and like spacing out. But see, here's where like I was like, okay, so there's got to be something to it, because in none of the other episodes that I could catch anyways, do they reference the seeds like that. In every episode, Rick is always drinking what we assume is alcohol, and he's you know, constantly like drooling on himself, and the way that he's drooling looked exactly how Morty looked when he was drooling after he had been affected by the seeds. So my thing was like, you know, if the seed side effects were making Morty much smarter, then, you know, maybe that's what Rick has actually been drinking the whole time. I was like, that would be kind of cool.
Mind blown.
Right? And when I was looking up theories online, one person said that it's basically the same thing, but that Rick, this is, you know, the disconnect for me that I didn't catch, but they were saying that the reason he does it is to stay one step ahead of the Council of Ricks, which is why, you know, you rarely see them looking like that, if at all, but you always see our Rick, like, you know, like look like he's an alcoholic mess, but in fact, he's actually trying to push his brain power further to be a step ahead. And I was like, oh shit, that's amazing.
Not to mention every season he has a big blowout with them and he always outsmarts them.
Right? Like how season 3 started, but we don't have to get into the specifics. But the way that they resurrected the situation from the end of season 2 going into season 3 was some Adventure Time bullshit. Like it was deep, well thought out. Like you wanted to get up and give it a standing ovation. You were like, dude, yes. I would have never ever guessed they were going to do some shit like that. So it was good. But you know, that's just my take. I don't know if you guys had any theories or wanted to talk about anything, you know, specific in the series that stands out to you.
Well, I mean, I don't know if, like, I could see that being a thing. Maybe, like, majority of his drinks are that way, but I do know that at some points it actually is just alcohol, because Morty in one episode does take his flask and drinks from it and just gets drunk because he's, like, tired of all the shit going on. And he doesn't, like, get any smarter or anything. He just gets drunk.
Well, I mean,
So-
and maybe, I mean, that could debunk it. But
That's what I'm
again,
saying. Like, no, not debunk it completely. I think, like, maybe he does drink a good amount of it, but I think, like, he does drink a lot of alcohol, too.
but it makes you wonder, like, would you even need alcohol if it also gives you the side effect of feeling like you're drunk times 10? Because Morty didn't even know that he was getting smarter until Rick put him on the spot and was like he was like, tell me about this, like, spaceship or whatever and how it works. And Morty was like, well, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we don't know for sure. I mean, it's all, you know, just guessing. But, I
Yeah.
mean, you could be right. It could be alcohol. Who knows? But I don't know. I thought it was like a fun idea.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that your theory is wrong. I'm just saying that I know that at times that it probably is just alcohol, but I do think that he probably, because I would assume that, like, having an alcoholic beverage made of it means that more of it's in your system for a longer time than just, you know, having skin contact to it.
Maybe it just
So
Irishes
that would
it
make a
out.
whole lot of sense. It would be kind of like
Yeah.
taking a supplement that's supposed to last you 24 hours. Like, you only take one a day.
Well, they did have it in their ass in episode 1, so that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's how teenagers get
and
drunk now.
But the thing is, like, that was just, like, through contact. And when it was removed, it wasn't, like, going back into a system anymore. So,
It's kind of like the
Facts.
movie, what was it, Limitless, where you just have to take the pills, and I guess he just had to keep a steady dose, you know, steady dosing of the.
We don't
super
watch
seed.
gay porn. Most of us like women. I don't know what you're talking about.
instructions unclear. Steven's tiny dick caught in tweezers.
Textbook got him. Textbook got him.
I'm limitless.
I'm about to put it on Snapchat. What are you talking about? Stay tuned. All right,
I just
so
heard Steven still responding some other way before I said what I said. So,
you need to
I
watch your
didn't.
mouth.
I haven't heard of any other fan theories though regarding Rick and Morty.
Well, what was your favorite show, favorite moment, John? Let it get loose.
Ooh,
Fucking sick of hearing team.
I did like I like the house party episode. That was pretty cool because we did get to see a lot of the different characters and stuff in the Rick and Morty universe, I guess. But it was just like Morty was trying to, keep the household together while like Summer and Rick are trying to throw this ridiculous ass party, and shit just keeps getting.
They put a lot of work in their
more
original
fucked up.
characters.
They do. They really do. Obviously a lot of the characters are just extra, but it's like when you see them in place, they feel right, like they should be there. So that was probably one of my favorite episodes. You got to see like a lot of the shit that Rick gets into with other characters.
How about that?
Everybody? Go ahead.
How about that Mr. Meeksy episode? Meeseeks.
Meeseeks, yeah.
That has to be one of the best episodes they ever made. Besides for Tiny Rick and Pickle Rick.
That was pretty good. The Meeseeks episode was pretty good. I thought it was hilarious. I felt like that it kind of irritated me. I don't know why. Like they kept using the freaking Meeseeks wrong, but I guess that's part of the show anyway. But
the way they work, if someone hasn't seen the episode, Rick gave the family this box, and he's like, all right, use this, and someone's going to appear. His name's Mr. Meeksies. Keep the task simple, and he'll do it for you. And when he does that, he dies, and he's disappearing, he's done. That's the way everyone likes it. They don't like to be around for a long time. I think
well, what they didn't know is that they were going to have a John in their universe, or, well, some people call him Jerry, but you get it.
That has to be my favorite character.
Fucking Jerry.
He's so fucking funny.
That's because you're both idiots.
He's so fucking funny. So, fuck that episode. So everyone summons him. I think one of them made Summer popular at school, wrote her a speech. I think Beth took one out, and she felt good about herself. So when she felt good about herself, disappeared, and then when Summer was popular, disappeared. So Jerry gets it, and he asks them to take a couple swings off his golf swing. And they come in, and they're like, can do. So they're helping him, and Jerry's just not getting it. And they're like, all right, well, I don't know what to do. We need to get some help. So the Meeksy hits the button again, and another one shows up. And when anyone hits it, the new Meeksy takes the responsibility of the current one if you don't tell it anything. So every time you hit it, they're all working on Jerry's swing now. So there's
it's not so much that. It's that the Meeseek was saying, hey, we need you to help with this. So every time a new Meeseek came out, the old Meeseek was like, we need to do this. And that's where it came down to. Like, the Meeseek was like proverbially pulling its hair out because it couldn't get the number off. And then it was just like, ding, 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 let's summon another one of me.
Well, but that's their default. Until Jerry gets his swing done, anything that comes out, they're going to work for him. So I
think you're mistaking it with the Meeseeks summoning more Meeseeks to continue to help them. But the Meeseeks that are summoning the new Meeseeks, they're straight up saying, hey, you need to help with this swing.
Do I have to clear you with facts? Because I got it right here.
You can clear me with facts because I've watched that episode several times.
I'm going to clear you with facts after the episode. So they all...
Go watch it yourself, man, instead of watching or reading something.
I watched it and read it. You only watched it. Boom. Got her.
I've watched it like 10 times, so I'm pretty sure
I watched it 11.
More. Okay. Sure you did. Continue.
Where the fuck was I at?
Screw up. Really?
Got it,
you were at the part where you're saying there's a bunch of Meeseeks helping Jerry. Let me help you out.
This isn't complicated.
So yeah, when there's like, they fill the room, Jerry gets bored and frustrated, so he leaves with Beth to go to dinner. And he's like, all right, I feel like this is more your problem than it is mine. So he leaves, and the Meeseeks are trying to solve his golf swing with him not even there. And they're stressing out because a lot of them have been there for a day and a lot of hours, and they're turning on each other. So they're pretty much freaking out and going crazy, and they're turning on each other. So the house is filled up with them now. So the oldest one, the Sage, comes to the conclusion where it's like, we can take all the strokes off his game if we just kill Jerry. Then they can all die. So they follow them to the restaurant, and they corner them into the freezer. And while they're in the freezer, the Meeseeks, like, they mob out. They got all these fucking... It's like they picked up shit on the way there. It's like like they're chasing Frankenstein. Torches and pipes and shit. And Beth is in there. They have a moment, and he uses a pipe, and he hits I think it's a tomato. And they see it, and they're all impressed. And all of them die and disappear except one that wants to see a short game. And he still has a hostage. Like, he's going to kill her if a short game isn't improved. and he hits an onion into a cup, and then he's satisfied, and then he disappears.
So something you didn't explain. So the Meeseeks, why they get all crazy like that is because Meeseeks are only meant to last like a few minutes tops at a time. And as they exist for longer, their like mental status severely decreases. So they just basically start becoming insane.
I said it at the beginning. I said it at the beginning.
No, you didn't. You said that they start losing their mind, but you didn't explain why.
When
you
I
said
see
that
you,
they start freaking out because they're helping Jerry and they can't figure out how to fix it. But it's not so much it's because they can't figure it out. It's because as time goes on, they just lose pieces of their brain, basically.
when I see you,
more of a
I'm
time
gonna
issue
put you
than a...
in a schoolyard headlock. I'm gonna put my
Okay,
hip out.
anywho, so
judo
back to
flippy.
that. So, and you can start seeing it throughout the episode. Like some of the Meeseeks start having like discoloration. They start having like weird hair growth. And it's because like they just start losing their shit, like literally because of being around for so long. And I think like the original Meeseek, Mr. Meeseek that Jerry had basically like straight up says 2 days is an eternity for them.
Yeah.
So,
Is did they ever kind of explain what the Meeseeks origin is? Like, are they from another dimension or something? Like,
They're from another dimension, but people that summon them, if one of them can't solve the problem, they occupy entire planets and overpopulate it.
Interesting. But if they would have killed Jerry, then that would have just canceled it out, right? So they would have disappeared anyway.
I guess in theory, or if not, they would have just kept on growing and growing. Because they can't die. You can't kill them or shoot them or anything. They just keep showing up.
well, they only keep showing up when you keep touching the box. They don't just multiply. They have to be summoned.
You can't kill them.
Yeah, no, they don't die until the task is complete.
Did I don't think I mentioned earlier. There was another a theory that this one I didn't think of. I wish I did, but I just came across it, and this one kind of blew my mind. So you guys are all familiar with the Council of Ricks, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and in the Council of Ricks, there's also that huge like plethora of Mortys that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one theory is that the Rickest Rick is supposedly is the one that we have that's our main one or whatever that's on all the adventures and everything, but they were saying that the Rickest Rick is probably actually not our main character. He's actually probably the Morty. You guys remember that really smart Morty?
Yeah, the
where,
Morty
like,
that pretends to be a Rick.
Yeah.
that ends up pulling the electronics, like he has like a microchip like in his eye and like tucks it back in at the end of one of the episodes from season 2.
Because he was recording that robot Rick, or I'm sorry, controlling the robot Rick.
Right, the Rick that had they're saying he did a brain swap or whatever, and I don't know why the hell I never thought of that, but like that makes perfect sense. I'm like, dude, that would be a twist for sure if they brought him back, and they may.
And I think they will, because when they had him leaving with all the other Mortys, they kind of alluded to the fact that he may be back.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because this show's notorious for going back and picking up on things that they've done before. Like, for instance, in season 3, episode 1, Rick is where he's at or whatever, and Summer's like, we gotta find Grandpa, blah, 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 just going on her little tangent, and she goes into the backyard where Rick and Morty had died in season 1 in an alternate universe, and then took their bodies and buried them in the backyard. So like most people forgot that it happened. I think once they referenced it just in talking, but that was it. But she marches on back there and just casually digs up their dead bodies, like, and that was from so long ago. Like, I love that they went back and pick back up on shit that they do, and it kind of makes the story even more interesting. It makes you want to go back and watch all the seasons to see how shit connects in case you miss something, because in this show it's important.
If I remember correctly, I think they brought it up twice. That's
what I just fucking said.
Well, you said they may have
John and
referenced
Gia
it
don't
in
fucking
talking.
listen.
I think
I said they referenced it, John.
in talking, but I'm saying they brought it up twice where they actually went and like digged up their body, because there was the one time where
Doug
dug up their body. Excuse the hell out of me.
Thank you.
But
I'm sorry. I'm so upset with you right now. I feel like you're listening to me.
I was. That's why I said they brought it up like twice. One where Morty was showing Summer that, first of all, their dead bodies were in the backyard. And then secondly, I think Summer dug up the bodies to retrieve Rick's teleportation tool when their planet was taken over by the who was it taken over by? I forget the name of the damn.
This guy goes to burst my bubble and then can't even back up what he's saying. Let me tell you something, John. I'll put $5 on it that they referenced it and did not dig up their bodies. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll pay you, because honestly, I cannot remember, because it's been a while since I watched all the episodes back to back, in a short time span. But I'm willing to take $5 and put that. Your ignorance is worth $5 to me.
Well, I know they did it twice.
Bet him, John.
So.
Don't be a coward.
You don't know it. I mean, you can bet $5, and I'll admit that you were right for once. But if you're not willing to bet $5, then take this L and say you don't know, and that no.
I can bet $5 because I know they referenced it twice.
Nice.
Well, we're not. No. We're not saying reference. Reference is what I said. You said they dug up the body a second time.
They did twice.
That wouldn't be a reference. I'd be digging up the body.
Well, whatever. Morty took her to the backyard to show her that, because that was when they were having the argument about Morty was being pissed at Rick because he was like, Rick doesn't care about anybody. Like, he's always destroying other worlds, and that's not his original world. And he went to go show her that their dead bodies were in the backyard. So that was one. And then there was another one where they had like that robot. Yeah, he showed. Oh no! They were in the room, and he pointed.
And he looked out the window at the ground and said, "We're buried back there." It's almost as if they referenced it.
So they dug him up once. My bad. I thought they dug him up in both episodes.
Oh, is that what happened?
But you only said once.
Motherfucker, I'm right now. Are you? Wait till we play the tape back. You're gonna be like, "Wow, Tino ate me alive."
Nope.
Like a black person in a 70s
deny
scary
everything.
movie. You just got chopped up in the beginning.
It's gonna be kind of like how Steven swore that I wasn't talking about who I was talking about in the last recording, and then when we listen to it, it's like, yeah, you're idiot, Steven. It's gonna be like one of them moments.
Oh yeah, Hannibal's actually this age, Gia.
No, it won't be that. It won't be that bad.
That's how she said it. How she said it.
We're not. No.
Dude, she's so wrong. I know I said it. I'm sick of her being wrong. I wish she was
I'm just
smart.
gonna start betting you and John on things so I can win money. So
we
I mean,
put
John,
one of those seeds up Gia's ass.
We'll double check the episode, but based on what you yourself just described, and now you have restored my memory, so I'm feeling very confident now. I feel like you're probably gonna owe me like $5.
Well, but he already admitted that he was wrong. He already said that they only dug him up once, and that he made a mistake.
So he owes me $5.
Kind of feel like we were both wrong.
Well,
No,
wasn't there two times where
that'd be a reference
where I used that No Man's Sky meme, and Summer was digging him up, and Morty's like, we shouldn't do this, and then there was another one where he's like, here, let me show you something, and it was that speech where nobody matters and no one's supposed to be anywhere. Let's go watch TV. I think that's what John's referring to.
But see, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he told her about it, but I don't know if he actually showed her the dead bodies. But see, now I can't remember because now I'm just mixing episodes together. But I know there was one.
Because I'm an encyclopedia of facts, and I just took you to school, buddy.
Tino has glasses.
Classes in session. God, I hate how Gia just sits back and watches me school you guys.
I don't think she can hear us. We gotta address that later.
That literally makes no sense. I'm listening to everything you guys are saying.
Shut up, we're talking, man.
See, and then you tell me to shut up, and that's why I stay quiet to just listen to your ignorance, and then let Tino school you specifically.
Tino doesn't school me. I'm older than him. He knows that.
All that means is you're gonna die first.
I don't vape. Are you nuts?
With a tiny penis.
Check that Snapchat story. I'm using the best filter they got.
Like a fisheye lens at the right angle to make it look big?
Yeah, fisheye lens, and I'm a hang top left.
Oh, Jesus.
Shoulder,
I don't want it.
shoulder
at
all the way
all,
stretched
like-
out.
No words.
All right, well, that's it. All right, so down the line, we're going to have more comic book shows. Since you enjoyed them, we enjoyed doing them, so expect those a lot more. And, of course, no one forget The Defenders on Netflix, coming out August 18th. We'll review it, pros and cons, talk about it, give you that unbiased 411. watch and join us. If you want to wait to see if it's worth your time, we'll tell you. And of course, that site is bodysnatcherspodcast.com. Sign up for that newsletter. And for John, Gia, Tino, Steve, tell someone you love them. Take care.